ಶ್ರೀ ಗುರುಭ್ಯೋ ನಮಃ. ಅನಧೀತ್ಯ ಮಹಾಭಾಷ್ಯಂ ವ್ಯಾಖ್ಯಾತಂ ಯದನುಗ್ರಹಾತ್ ವಂದೇತಂ ವಿಧಿನಾ ಸತ್ಯನಿಧಿಂ ಸಜ್ಞಾನ ಸಿದ್ಧಯೇ. ವಿದ್ಯಾಪೀಠ ವಿಧಾತಾರಂ ವಿದ್ಯಾವಾರಿಧಿ ಚಂದಿರಂ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿವತ್ಸಲಂ ವಂದೇ ಮಹಾಮಹಿಮ ಸದ್ಗುರು. ಶ್ರೀ ಗುರುಭ್ಯೋ ನಮಃ. See, in the previous part, that is during the explanation of the first Sarga of the book Sri SATHYANIDHI VILASA, which is penned by Sri Srinivasa Kavi, we got to know a brief history of Ramayana, his character and his leelas performed during his reign. Now in the second chapter, which actually comprises of 76 shlokas in total, it actually explains the brief history of Lord Sri Krishna, Bhimasena Deva incarnation, the second incarnation of Vayudeva, and Madhvacharya, the third incarnation of Vayudeva. The first few initial shlokas, it explains about the birth of Sri Krishna, how he took birth in the couple Vasudeva and Devaki, the way he exhibited his Bala Leelas, the way he destroyed Putana and all the other demons sent by Kamsa, the happiness he gave to Gopikas Stris during the Rasotsava, and during the Rukmini Swayamvara, how he held her hand and the way he destroyed the minds of other kings who had evil eye on her. All these are explained in brief in the first few initial shlokas. See how a yogi who actually he shines when he obtains all the Ashtanga yogas, the same way Lord Sri Krishna was glittering with utmost splendor when he was with his Ashtamahishis along with Rukmini. He also freed all the Rajakanyas who were actually tied up by Narakasura. He freed all the clutches from them and he held their hands. This way, the brief history of Lord Sri Krishna is described in the first few initial shlokas. See, when Lord Rama was born, Vayudeva took the incarnation of Lord Sri Hanuman and served him with utmost devotion. The same way, when Lord Sri Krishna, when Lord Sri Krishna was born, who was actually the incarnation of Lord Sri Vishnu itself, the same way Vayudeva took his second incarnation as Sri Bhimasena and he served him with utmost devotion and reduced the burden on the earth. When Lord Vayudeva took the incarnation of Bhimasena, at that time there was a sound of a very roaring garjana of a lion. The small infant child slipped from the hands of Kunti Devi. Due to this, actually it all happened very sudden. Kunti Devi didn't recognize what happened actually, and the child fell down from such a great height, and the impact of this was the Shatashrunga Parvata actually split like the stroke made by Vajrayudha. Such was the enormous power exhibited by Bhimasena in his infant stage itself. Duryodhana, he tried to kill Bhima in many ways possible. He tried to make him eat poison. He made poisonous snakes bite him. He threw him in the deep waters of Pramana Koti. All these Bhimasena emerged out very easily through his supernatural powers. Even at the instance of Lakshagruha also, Bhimasen Deva single-handedly he carried his mother and his 4 brothers and made them empty the palace, by not even causing a simple injury nor a burn on their body. Bhimasena Deva, he exhibited few powers and vigor since his childhood itself. He eliminated many Rakshasas, many demons during his reign. During his state Ekachakra Nagara, he eliminated Baka and he eliminated Jarasandha while performing the Rajasuya Yaga and the other yagas. He promised that he would kill Duryodhana and all his brothers when Draupadi Devi was damaged in the Sabha hall out of modesty. He killed Dushasana and all his brothers. He killed Hidimba, Kirmira and other Daityas. And he eliminated Kichaka, who had an evil eye on Draupadi. He killed all the brothers of Duryodhana by eliminating all these daityas. He reduced the burden on the mother earth. Shri Krishna, he took the birth on this earth only to reduce the burden of mother earth by actually balancing the punya and papa done by the souls. Bhimasena helped Krishna. He followed and he did this seva which was actually not possible by others. After completion of his work, Sri Krishna, he left this jagat, he left this universe, and as a result Kali Yuga started. When the Kali Yuga started, those demons again they took their rebirth as human beings, and they wrote innumerable wicked shastras, and they started preaching those wicked and burned shastras to the people. And the people who actually were the followers of our supremacy of Lord, they departed from their traditional authentic shastra path. Manimanta, who actually was killed by Bhimasena when Lord Bhimasena Deva obtained Saugandhika flowers and gave to Draupadi to cause happiness to her. That Daitya, he took the form of a human being called Manimanta, and he composed stupid and burnt philosophies. All these Daityas, they were born as human beings and they followed all those bad shastras. They cannot tolerate the supremacy of our Lord Vishnu. They are highly autocratic with bad values, and those bad values they started preaching the other people, and people they started completely deviating from their own sense of path, and they started believing what these bad shastras were explained. Unbearable and helplessly, all the devatas and others, they begged in front of Lord Vishnu, Paramatma, to bring out some savior who could save them from all these bad shastras. Paramatma, Lord Vishnu, he ordered Vayudeva, and thus Vayudeva, he took his third incarnation in the Kali Yuga in the form of Madhvacharya, and he brought out the Madhva philosophy to us. Madhvacharya, he was born to the couple Madhyageha Bhatta and Vedavati Devi, and he was named Vasudeva. Vasudeva was a child prodigy itself, and no doubt we all know he showed completely multifaceted personality, versatile attributes, numerous talents and vigor since his childhood itself. He was very well versed in all the vidyas, and his knowledge was as deep as an ocean. Such was his knowledge, and nothing was new to him. It was like actually when he went to the Gurukula, Guru was submitting to him what he knew. It was not like he was learning from the Guru. Such was the innumerous parts exhibited by Vasudeva during his childhood itself. After some time, he took the sannyas ashrama from Achyuta Preksha Tirtha. Sri Madhvacharya, and he was titled the name as Madhvacharya by Achyuta Preksha Tirtha Swamiji. Madhvacharya saw that the entire Jagat, the entire universe was filled with 21 bad shastras, and people's minds were completely stuck to those shastras. So then he understood the purpose of taking his birth on this Jagat. He composed the Grantha Gita Bhashya. He went to submit this Grantha to Lord Vedavyasa, who was staying in the Badrika Ashrama, in the Naranarayana Ashrama. When he visited Badrika Ashrama, he prostrated himself in front of Lord Vedavyasa, and with the orders as advised by Vedavyasa, he composed the other Granthas. He then understood what was his main purpose of taking the birth on this earth. His main purpose was to destroy all the philosophy, clear all the doubts from the minds of the people who were completely in the dwelling mode, and he composed the main Madhva philosophy, which actually exhibits the supremacy of God. When he went to Badrikashrama, Lord Vedavyasa gave him 8 shilas which are today known as Vyasamushtis, which actually are shining with great and remarkable splendor. Apart from Gita Bhashya, he composed many other granthas from after returning from Badri. He composed Brahmasutra Bhashya, Anubhashya, Sanyaya Vivritti, Tantrasara, Mahabharata Tatparya Nirnaya, Bhagavata Tatparya Nirnaya, and many other granthas. All these have contemporaries on their own. Sri Madhvacharya, he installed idol of Lord Sri Krishna in Udupi, and he stayed there for most of the time. He gave the 3 shilas out of the 8 shilas to his 3 shishyas. Now he selected one of his best disciple, Narhari Tirtha Swamiji, and he selected one of his disciple. He ordained the disciple into sannyasa ashrama, and he titled him as Narhari Tirtha. Madhvacharya assigned Narhari Tirtha a small task. He explained about how in the previous part we got to know how Ramachandra gave the idol of Sri Mula Ramachandra to Vedagarbhacharya and to preserve it. Madhvacharya actually asked Narhari Tirtha to bring that idol back to him. Narhari Tirtha, as assigned the task, he started his Digvijaya. Finally, he reached Parashurama Kshetra. There he came to know, he actually got hint that the idol might be here, and he started digging the Itihasa of that Kshetra. The Itihasa is as follows. When the Treta Yuga was nearing, in the Treta Yuga, there was a famous this Parashurama Kshetra was known as Utkala Desha. In this Utkala Desha, this kingdom was being ruled by a great warrior called Mukundavarma. By his strength, he won over many battles and he captured many kingdoms. This king Mukundavarma was completely immersed in always rendering seva to the Paramatma Kamalakanta, to Lord Sri Vishnu. He had a desire to have darshan of Lord Jagannatha. So he sent one of his soldier to one of his man to get to know the details over there. The Purohit Brahmin, he went there, he inquired all the details and he explained as it is to the king. Mukundavarma was very happy and he started his journey to have darshan of Lord Jagannatha. By the time he reached there, it actually seemed like the entire Jagannatha Kshetra was disappearing. He was very much anxious and worried and as to why he couldn't have darshan of the Lord Jagannatha, because previously already his guard has already taken darshan. Why only he was not able to take the darshan of the Lord? He was very anxious, and on his way returning, he met a Gandharva. That Gandharva actually seemed like a reliable relative to him. That Gandharva explained him that if he does seva to the idol of Sri Mula Ramachandra, then he would surely get darshan of the Lord. Then afterwards he inquired the whereabouts of the idol, and soon he came to know that the idol was present with one of a Brahmin who was living in his kingdom itself. He went to the Brahmin, he approached him, he explained his anxiousness, and he served the Brahmin with utmost devotion. The Brahmin, who was completely pleased, without any hesitation, he gave the idol to the king. That king, he preserved the idol in a sampushta decorated with precious gems and manis. The same was taken for puja daily, and that idol was considered as a family deity, and they kept that as their wealth intact. Soon when the Treta Yuga was coming to close, the entire Utkala Desha, it got submerged in water. Like this, many years passed indeed. Finally, a king named as Sudhanva, by the name Sudhanva, he approached the Kshetra. He established a new kingdom with the remaining people and protected the earth. In his Vamsha, in this dynasty of Sudhanva, at present, King Suyasha by the name was ruling the country. He was also interested in Digvijaya, and with entire zeal and enthusiasm he was ruling the country. Narahari Tirtha came to this place Parashurama Kshetra when this king Suyasha was ruling the country. This way we get to know the brief history, brief itihasa of how the idol came from Chaturmukha Brahmadevaru to Ikshvaku Maharaja, how it with the same way it came to Lord Ramachandra, to Vedagarbhacharya, and to the king of Sudhanva, and at how it is actually present when King Suyasha was ruling the country. The king Suyasha, with utmost zeal and enthusiasm, he went on for Digvijaya. He was very brave, but unfortunately, he got killed in the war. At that particular time, the queen of the kingdom, his wife, she was pregnant. She wanted to fall in fire along with the husband, but Narahari Tirtha stopped her because pregnant women should not do such act, and it is completely exemplary. In the absence of king, unrest and many disturbances happened. On seeing this, the ministers over there, they decided rule. They gave a garland to the royal elephant, and they thought that the elephant itself would, whomever the elephant would put the garland on, they would become the further king. The king elephant, the royal elephant, travelled in many places and finally saw Narahari Tirtha and submitted its mark of gesture by placing the garland on around the neck of Narahari Tirtha. All the ministers bowed themselves, and finally Narahari Tirtha became the king. He ruled the kingdom for entire 12 years. During his reign, the queen was blessed with a baby boy, and the prince was named Susharma. The prince was named Susharma. When the prince Susharma was 12 years old, Narahari Tirtha, the noble saint, saw that the prince was capable enough now, and he, without any the noble saint, without any hesitation, he handed over the kingdom to Susharma, the royal son of Suyasha. He released himself and decided to leave the country. Seeing the vairagya of the noble saint Narahari Tirtha, Susharma, he himself pleaded Narahari Tirtha to accept something which he desired. Narahari Tirtha, when so much prayed, he asked for the idol of Sri Mula Ramachandra. With his great penance and meditation, he pointed over the place where the Sampushta, where the box was placed containing the idols of Mula Rama and goddess Sita Devi. He requested the Pratima to be given to him, and he explained that this was the most desirable to him. King Susharma, without any hesitation, he gave the idols of Lord Sri Mularama and goddess Sita Devi. Narahari Tirtha was not at all interested in the other idols. He needed these idols as assigned by the task from his guru Sri Madhvacharya. Then Narahari Tirtha submitted those pratimas to Madhvacharya, and as ordered by him earlier. We know Madhvacharya is the incarnation of Vayudeva itself. He received the pratimas from his Shishya Narahari Tirtha. He was very much pleased with the devotion and seva done by Narahari Tirtha. So along with Narahari Tirtha and other two disciples, Madhvacharya gave them 3 Vyasamushtis. The other 5 Vyasamushtis, along with the pratimas, the idols of Lord Mularama and goddess Sita Devi, Madhvacharya gave all of them to his successor Sri Padmanabha Tirtha Swamiji, and this legacy to be carried on further. This way, in this second chapter of Satyanidhi Vilasa, book penned down by Sri Srinivasa Kavi, we get to know the brief history of how we obtain the idols of Lord Rama and goddess Sita Devi, which were actually prayed by the Lord Brahma itself. It actually is an honor and bliss to our eyes to have darshan of such idols even today in this Kali Yuga. And all this is possible only due to the seva done by Narahari Tirtha. The Guru Bhakti he had on Madhvacharya, the Bhakti, the zeal that he should actually accept the advice given by Madhvacharya and complete the task assigned to him. All this is possible only with the zeal and enthusiasm, the devotion showed by Narahari Tirtha and his seva done to the Lord. Thank you. Shri Krishna Arpanamastu.